So in the last section, we looked at adding and subtracting polynomials. In this section, we're going to look at what you do to multiply monomials or polynomials. So the first type that we're going to talk about are multiplying a monomial by a polynomial. And the rules that we'll follow for that is that you will distribute the monomial over each term in the polynomial. Okay. And then, when you've done that, you want to look back at what we know about exponents, the power rules, to use power rules to simplify each term. Okay. So, with our first example, we're distributing a 3y squared to the 8y squared. So I'm going to do this first one, writing out each of the steps. So there's 3y squared times 8y squared. Then we're going to subtract, because that's our sign there, 3y squared times 7y, and then add 3y squared times 2. So the 3y squared is getting distributed over each of these terms from that second polynomial. Then, using what you know about power rules, the coefficients get multiplied together. So this becomes 24. And since our bases are the same, a y here and a y there, we can add our exponents. Here we have a 3 times 7, which will give us a negative 21. And when we add these exponents, y squared plus y to the 1 gives us a total of y cubed. And in our last term, it's just the 3 times 2, and the y squared just drops down. So let's look at that in one more example. To distribute the 10r over vx squared and 2r, we're multiplying 10r times vx squared. So since none of these variables are in common and there's no coefficient on the vx squared, we're going to end up just writing this as one large term, 10r vx squared. With the second one, we can combine the 10 and the 2 to make 20, and r times r to the first times r to the first gives us r squared, because we add those exponents together. In the next section, we're talking about multiplying a binomial or polynomial by another polynomial. And this is where we're going to recall what you know about multiplying numbers before we had all this algebra involved. So I want you to set up problem vertically. Okay. And by that I mean that the same way that you would take, let's use 14 times 318, you would write 14 times 318 as 318 on the top and a 14 on the bottom in order to multiply it. So you set the problem up vertically the same as you would with a regular multiplication problem, and then multiply using same pattern as whole number, multiplication. Okay. And there will be some instances where you need to, may need 0 placeholder terms. And we'll do a couple examples like that where that'll happen, so I'll show you when we get there.